welcome to Those Two Chicks with a Podcast.
My name's Jordan.
My name's Emma Grace.
And hi.
Hi.
This is kind of our first real episode, kind of.
Yes, it is.
So, how was your week?
Honestly, it was just so busy, but
yeah,
I'm kind of like, it doesn't feel like it's Thursday.
It's Thursday.
It is Thursday.
Oh.
It's like it's gone by so fast, but at the same time, I need it to be Saturday or Sunday.
Those are your days off?
Yep.
I don't have those.
Oh.
I have children.
It's true.
Just keep going.
And I'm over the snow.
Yes.
I'm over that.
I want it to be springtime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So my allergies can kick in.
My seasonal depression is horrible.
I hate it.
So I need to, my meds, maybe we'll up them or something.
Well, how was your week?
Oh, it was good. But I had to tell you, okay, so the first episode we tried to record, obviously you guys know by now the audio was a little wonky. We're still releasing it because they were really good stories. But we did paranormal stories, right? And now I'm terrified of everything. So I went to, last night, Lucas and I visited his papa. And he always told me that house was haunted. And his papa has told me some spooky stories too, which I'll save for a different time because they're his papa's stories, not really mine to share. But I get a weird vibe when I go into this house, okay? Okay. So, the first thing that happened was he has a bunch of stuff he wants to get rid of in a garage sale. And he was like, oh, you go look through the boxes and you pick what you want. He's the sweetest little old guy in the world. And he tried to give me these Amish dolls. And they don't have fucking faces.
No, they don't.
No. And I was like, Papa, these are haunted. And he was like, oh, ha, 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 just laughing at me. But I was like, no, for real. Like, they look haunted.
Yeah, I think, isn't that part of, like...
It's an Amish thing.
They're not supposed to have faces.
Yes.
I don't remember the reason.
He told me it was because Amish people don't like their pictures taken.
Mm.
But I was like, listen, they're creepy looking.
They are creepy.
Put a face on them. I'm sorry. Even with the face on it, it would have been creepy because... they were very, like, tall and skinny.
Oh.
And just, like, gangly looking, you know what I mean? So, anyway, I was already creeped out. And then Lila was over, like, looking in the kitchen. And I shit you not, Lincoln goes, there's a ghost over there. And Lila doesn't know what a ghost is. She's one. She was looking down this hallway, and all of a sudden, I shit you not, she screamed. She screamed, and she ran for her dad. She was like, Daddy, 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 and ran to him. And I'm like, yep, they saw a ghost.
Oh,
so then I was like, let's go.
A doll.
Yeah. It's like, good thing we're not taking those because we talked about in that episode how ghosts are attached to objects.
Right, we did.
We did. And I'm like, there's something in those boxes that's spooky and I'm not taking it. So my child may or may not have saw a ghost.
Oh my God. That's how you feel about even like going to thrift stores?
Yes.
I'm always so scared about what I might take.
Yeah, I know.
What am I entering like in my house?
Yes, I have to. My sister-in-law's getting married, and she wants to do antique mirrors. And have you heard, like, maybe we'll talk about mirrors sometime and, like, the creepy stories surrounding them. Like, I've heard stories, like, they're supposedly, like, the portal to another dimension or whatever. Great. Awesome.
Great
Good thing. I already hate looking in the mirror, so add that to the reasons. But it's just, I'm like, I don't want to go buy those or keep them in your house, please. So, yeah, I guess it wasn't that spooky, but it did freak me out.
It is scary.
I had the bonnet and little yarn hair, and I was like, okay, Annabelle, you're not coming home with me. So, today we're going to talk about Mandela effects.
Yes.
Get ready to have your mind question your life after this episode.
Yes.
Pretty much. So,
we'll start with the definition of the Mandela effect.
Yes.
It is an unusual phenomenon.
Ooh.
I love saying that word.
Phenomenon.
Do. Phenomenon.
That's what I need to. I was just thinking.
I can't say it.
Phenomenon.
So it's an unusual phenomenon where a large group of people remember something differently than how it occurred. Mm-hmm. Is a simple definition.
Yes.
But like conspiracy theorists believe that it's proof of an alternate universe, while many doctors use it as an illustration of how imperfect memories can be.
Right.
But the term itself was made in 2009 by Fiona Broome when she created a website to talk about this phenomenon was the thing.
Yeah.
Fiona was in a conference call talking with other people about how she remembered the tragedy of former South African President Nelson Mandela's death in the South African prison in the 1980s. However, Nelson didn't die in the 1980s, but in 2013. So I'm assuming since she made this term in 2009, I'm not sure when the conference took place.
Right.
But either way, he wasn't even dead yet.
No.
Which is kind of sad.
It's kind of sad.
Others remember seeing news coverage of his death and a speech made by his widow.
Oh, I didn't know they remember, like, a literal speech.
Like, they're remembering this whole event of his funeral and everything, but he wasn't dead. So Fiona was just amazed by how many people could remember an identical event in such detail.
Right.
All the same facts, and it never happened.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy to me. I was listening to podcasts on the Mandela effect, and this is sad, but I didn't even know the term was coined because people thought he died. I literally didn't know. I just didn't know much about it. Mm-hmm. And I think I'm just too young to remember that because obviously I wasn't alive in the 80s.
Yeah, for sure.
But I don't know. I thought that was crazy.
In like 2009, I would have been in middle school, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, I think
middle school or.
I was only 13, and I definitely wasn't thinking about this shit.
No,
so
for sure. I mean, like our access to phones and stuff was at a different time.
Right, and here's the thing too. Like, has this phenomenon picked up since we have phones now and the internet?
Yeah, I think so.
Is it I don't know how much it's like aiding to this.
Personally, I think so, because I feel like you see more YouTube channels talking about it all the time.
Mm-hmm. And I don't know about you, but I feel like people even like give themselves like illnesses, like diagnose themselves by seeing someone else's video. It's a legit thing. And I just wonder, like, reading all these stories about a Mandela effect makes people think they remembered that. I don't know. So are you a skeptic or are you a believer?
I hate doing this because I'm a ghost episode. I'm like, I'm indifferent.
Yeah.
I really am. I love hearing them, but I'm kind of on the other side of, like, I see where doctors are like, maybe your memory just is imperfect.
Yeah.
But I only say that because sometimes I hear some Mandela effects and they're like, is it just me or do you think this? I'm like, I think it's just you.
Yeah.
But then I also think about, like, how often was I staring at these logos?
Right.
And then they're like, well, it's actually this color. I'm like,
well, the color things are kind of like,
I know? Like,
come on, right. You know, and I'm going to go into a couple Mandela effects. We're going to talk about them, and I wanted to talk about people's different theories, but I'm a little bit on the skeptic side too.
Yeah.
But there are a couple that I'm going to talk about where I was like, no fucking way, it was like this. Like, you cannot tell me it was not this. So, we'll get into it. So this is for my skeptics. This is more of the logical reason this could be happening. And I'm going to use an example from a 9/11 witness study. People were interviewed every year or maybe every couple of months, and what they realized is that they carried whatever happened in the previous interview into the next one. Like, how do I explain this a little bit better? So someone in the interview would say, like, I was hungry. Or like, I'm hungry, or they would make them eat in the interview. And then the next year when they interviewed them, they'd be like, oh yeah, at 9/11 I was eating. Oh. Does that make sense?
Yeah, okay.
So something with the brain, or like if it happened to be very cold the day of the interview, the next interview they would say 9/11 was a very cold morning. And this happened with multiple people. So something with the brain and memory, they can be manipulated. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And people, they call them flashbulb memories because they can see them so vividly in their heads. And it's kind of crazy because they say, like, the first year it gets a little bit manipulated, and then for the next 10 years, people will keep that manipulated memory super clearly in their mind. Isn't that weird?
That is really weird.
To me, that's weird that you just remember something that's incorrect the year right after, and you hold on to that for 10 years. I think that's weird.
I like that explanation, though. Yes. It makes sense.
Yeah, so the mind can be very, very easily manipulated, especially when you have a mass quantity of people being like, I remember it this way, and everyone else is going to be like, yeah, me too, I was eating cereal that day. You know what I mean? So it's kind of crazy. And this was an actual study. I'll put some resources in the show notes. You guys can check it out. And then these are kind of the fun ones that freak me out. But some people, you know, there's the theory about the parallel universes and that there's an infinite number of us. Oh. Okay, this will give me a panic attack. I'm not even kidding. So there are an infinite number of me and you shooting a podcast right now. Oh. Just in different universes.
Okay.
You know what I mean? So people, for some reason, and I don't know why this happens, but they think it's like timelines clashing. and things change. Is there scientific proof of that? Hell no. But that's what some people think. And then another thing people think is that we may have invented time travel. And have you ever heard of the butterfly effect?
Yeah.
So someone goes back in time and the tiniest little thing gets changed and it manipulates all these changes.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Have no idea why that would change the Berenstain Bears to Berenstain Bears, but that is what people think.
Like, this would be really funny.
Genuinely, I'm not even kidding, guys. There's a Reddit thread, and no offense to anyone on this Reddit thread, this shit was interesting. And a couple people also think that the world ended in 2012, and we all shifted into a different universe on 2012 because of the Mayan calendar ending.
Right.
They said it was like the start of a new universe.
But just none of us noticed?
I guess not. Makes no sense to me. That one doesn't make very much sense.
No,
None of them really make sense.
Maybe if I was, like, really into that. I guess I am.
There's
I am
probably
sort of skeptic where I'm like...
Me too.
Well.
Me too. And I guess it just doesn't make sense because there's literally new Mandela effects happening. Like, people are realizing more recent ones. So I feel like that one's a little silly too. But I honestly, if I was going to think of something outside the realm of, like, our brains are playing tricks on us, I think the time travel one is the most legit to me. I really do. Don't laugh at me. That's, like, the most legit one to me. But anyway, guys, so let's see here. I'm going to go over some Mandela effects with you. And I want you to tell me how you remember these things. Okay, so I want you to finish this sentence for me. Blank, mirror on the wall. Who's the fairest of them all? What's the first word?
Is that like from the Snow White?
I think so. One of those fairy tales.
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
Wrong.
So
you are wrong. But seriously, in your mind, isn't it mirror, mirror?
Mirror, mirror on the wall.
This one got me. It is not. It is magic mirror on the wall.
Magic mirror.
Magic mirror on the wall. Right?
But it doesn't sound good.
No! It's, to me, I read that one and I was like, that is not true. It is mirror, mirror.
Right.
And I feel like I remember this, not because I was really into Snow White.
No, I never liked that Disney
But
princess.
do you remember in Shrek where they have the magic mirror?
Yeah.
And he says mirror, mirror on the wall, does he not?
He does.
He does.
Yeah.
So why is Snow White now magic mirror?
No one likes Snow White, but we have so many Shrek fans that are like, this is accurate.
I don't know, because I feel like in plays and stuff, or I feel like they say mirror, mirror.
Right. I shouldn't say I've gone to see Snow White in a play.
You're a play person.
I know. I just don't. I never liked Snow White.
Me neither.
But the thing is, like, just that sentence, magic mirror.
Magic mirror on the wall. Who says that?
It's magic.
Magic.
No one says that. Why would they say mirror, mirror?
Because it sounds like mirror, mirror on the wall. It just sounds nice. It's crazy to me, but I'm telling you, in the books.
Interesting.
In the books,
In the movie, too?
I don't know about Shrek. The Snow White movie, I think it's magic mirror. It is. It says right here, is it magic mirror, mirror, mirror? And it's magic mirror. And it says it only occurs in the Disney film Snow White, and in other movies, it's mirror, mirror. But it just doesn't make sense to me.
Why would they? So, really?
Why would they do it? What logic is there? Why would they change that?
Someone must have forgotten it when they were writing Shrek. And they're like, oh, shoot, guys.
Oh, shit, but this sounds better. So I'm leaving it. Yeah, that one tripped me out. So
the fact that you said fill in the blank and that was the first thing I thought of, and it wasn't correct.
I know. I didn't think that through either because that was a little confusing.
What would you have done if I said it's magic mirror?
I would have been like, oh, so you're from a different universe. You're not my Emma. Who are you?
I have time travel.
You're Emma 3895, and I'm 3894. So, okay, so this one's kind of funny. And I kind of feel stupid for this one. But Lucas and I have talked about this before. And I thought Lucas was kind of being stupid for bringing this up. That sounds so mean. But he's like, okay, put your hand on your heart. Where is it? Here, right? Mm-hmm. It's not. It's right here. Your heart is actually right here. So just so you guys know, we both put our hand on the left side of our chest. Yeah. Because that's what we were taught, right?
Yeah.
In school, when we do that, if anyone's listening from different countries, we were forced to say Pledge of Allegiance in elementary school. Mm-hmm. And you put your hand over your heart, and we're holding our left titties. So yeah. That's where we thought it was. But it does lean to the left a little bit.
Oh,
It's in the left a little bit, but it's in the center of your chest mostly.
Why do we do that?
People legit think that the anatomy of the body has changed.
Maybe you were just dumb. Well, what does Miss Frizzle say? Because
she's always right.
She knows everything.
But really, doesn't that make you think, though? Why do we do that?
I just feel like we weren't very... Like, maybe it was just, like, crossing our bodies.
My thing was, like, when did we invent this? Because maybe we didn't know.
That's the thing.
But it trips me out. And I was thinking about that.
When was the Pledge of Allegiance? And, like, when did we start doing that?
Let me look it up.
Because then I think that might explain it a little bit better.
I don't know. I feel like people have known where the heart is for a while. Because they've been chopping people up for years.
Or maybe there's like a deeper meaning to it. Like when you do this, like it's like a...
Should I Google it?
Like a hug to
Why
yourself.
do we hold the left side of our chest?
Yeah, see what other people say. If it's just because I don't know.
I looked it up and a bunch of people on a Reddit thread were like, no, it was on the left side. Like for sure left side. And I'm like...
How do they know though?
But the thing is, putting your hand over your heart makes you appear brave. Okay, but that's not where our heart is. I don't know.
Because we're not that brave, okay?
I'm not that brave.
We're all a little scared.
Okay, yeah, they said it's for a different just to make a different salute. That's why they did that.
Oh.
Okay. Because it used... This is crazy. In 1942, the flag code was updated and specified the hand on the heart salute to avoid the appearance of school children giving a Nazi salute. Look at these kids Nazi saluting to the flag.
Uh-oh.
In the 1940s.
Oh, that's not good.
So yikes, maybe they didn't care where the heart was. They just didn't want to look like Nazis, which I do not blame you.
Okay, fair enough.
For that. But it's just weird.
I want to know how. I'm not saying they're wrong.
Yeah.
But I'd like to know the people are saying, like, how do they know our anatomy has changed?
I think it's a Mandela effect. That's why it changed.
Oh, okay.
Like something happened in the timeline or something.
I just imagine people going back in time, like, pushing our hearts over here. A little to the middle. Oh, this way.
You know, I don't know. It just doesn't make sense. But when I think about it, I'm like, yeah, that's weird. Because anytime I've learned anatomy, it's always been there.
Yeah, it's here.
Every time. When I think back to classes and stuff.
Your whole body.
I was in the medical field for a hot sec. Like, it was right here.
You were.
I was. Then I quit. But yeah, it was right here. So I don't know. But I just think that's interesting. And it's funny because we did the Pledge of Allegiance in elementary, but I can't remember what year it stopped. Mine stopped in 5th grade for me, honestly.
I think so.
Just when we went to middle school, we didn't do it anymore. But anytime I think about it as an older person, you know what happened in middle school? 2012.
Mm-hmm.
No, it didn't.
No, it didn't.
That was high school.
We were in high school. Because I was a freshman and you were...
My husband graduated in 2012 and he's only a couple years older.
I just like to find out that you just said we were in middle school and you were a junior
I was a junior.
Because I was a freshman.
I was old.
Actually, do you want to know when the world was going to end? Remember, it was the day before Christmas break.
It was.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, I was terrified.
Yeah.
Because my 6th grade teachers freaked me the fuck out. They played a documentary about the calendar. And there was a fire and everything. It was like great.
I remember because it was like during lunchtime too. So I was like, I'm gonna die eating this peanut butter and jelly.
Yeah.
Like, really?
It was horrible. So yeah, well that's one of them. So maybe that shift happened after 2012. We don't know. The minds were just like, at this date your heart will change. None of this makes sense. Okay. Anyway. Okay. How could you describe to me how the Monopoly man looks? Uncle Big Moneybags or whatever his name is.
Uncle Big Moneybags?
No, Uncle Big... I don't know. His name's Uncle.
He has a name?
His name is Uncle Moneybags or something like that. He has a name.
That's a man.
Everyone has a name, Emma. It's horrible to think he doesn't.
Just like Monopoly.
What do you think he looks like?
Okay, he's like black and white.
Yeah.
And out like a drawing character. He has a top hat.
Uh-huh.
And then,
What about his face? Does he have anything defining?
Does he have a mustache?
He does.
Okay.
Is that it?
I think so. And then he has like a cane or something.
Okay, so you don't remember him with a monocle?
If he wants to have one, sure.
Like you don't remember him with one?
No.
Okay, that's another big one. Everyone claims that the Monopoly man had a monocle.
I don't remember him with
I don't remember it either.
I thought the peanut guy had a monocle.
He does. That's what I said. And then this podcast was like, who gets the peanut guy mixed with a Monopoly guy? And I'm like, your high brain does. Like, what do you mean? They're very different. What do you mean? I couldn't get that confused. It's a peanut and a man. They're different.
I don't remember the monocle.
One's yellow, one's black and white.
So there is no monocle.
No, there's no monocle in our universe.
Am I better than everyone else?
Am I better than everyone else? You are. You are.
But the peanut guy has a monocle.
He does.
Okay, is that why people...
And he has a top hat.
He does.
Yeah, I think that's why people get that.
What's the peanut guy's name?
Mr. Peanut Man. That's what I said.
said.
Mr. Big Nuts. He is a big nut. Okay, so that's one that I was just like, eh. One of the biggest ones.
Yeah.
Berenstein or Berenstain? Bears.
I always thought it was the Berenstain Bears.
Okay, so here's the thing that pisses me off. If it was intended to be Berenstain Bears, like spelled like Berenstain, why the hell do we say Berenstain?
How is it spelled? Like
Berenstain? Now, Berenstain. Literally, stain. The word stain is at the end of the name. So, and everyone says Berenstein Bears.
Yeah.
You would not pronounce Berenstain as Berenstein.
No.
So that one just doesn't... And I feel like I can vividly remember being little and looking at a book and it being Berenstein. Always. Never once have I... And I obviously... So one thing skeptics say is like, most people were little. We probably didn't know how to read very well, and that could be where that came from. But I have seen older people in comments saying like, oh, I used to read this to my granddaughter or my nephew or whatever, and it was Berenstein. So are the adults stupid too? Could they not read?
What does Miss Frizzle think about it?
I bet there's an episode. But really, that one's one of the weirdest ones to me.
Yeah, was it like a different font or something that we couldn't read?
I don't know. No, I think it's always been the same font. But even the authors say it's always been Berenstain.
Well, then the authors can leave.
Maybe they're the time travelers. And they were like, listen, Berenstain is fucking stupid. Let's go back and change it to Berenstain.
But
or there was a typo, and they were like, we need to go back in time and fix this.
Maybe there was a typo in one of their books.
I don't know. But I just think that one's the biggest one to me.
That one's really weird.
It's Berenstain.
Yeah, Berenstain.
Never
I don't like
Berenstain.
That's kind of like the mirror one again. Like mirror sounds better than magic mirror.
Yes.
And
Berenstein makes more sense than Berenstain. Whose name is Berenstain? That doesn't sound real.
No, it sounds like it's wrong.
It's like poop stain. It just doesn't stain. Like, why? Okay. So I'm glad you thought that too, because I was like, no, it's definitely Berenstein.
I never had the books. They were always at like my doctor's office though.
Yeah. I had older siblings, and it was like really popular. So I vividly remember it at my grandma's house where she kept the books. I don't think I had any, but I vividly remember that. Maybe it's my flashbulb memory. I don't know. Another one I wanted to talk about, which this one isn't there for me.
Okay.
How do you picture Fruit of the Loom? How do you picture their logo?
Like, just fruit.
Just fruit. I don't know why that was funny to me. That's what it is. See, this one I can't see.
Am I supposed to name the fruits?
No, it goes apple, grape, banana. Not banana, apple, grape.
There should be fruit.
No, but everyone's like, there's a cornucopia in that. You know what I'm talking about? The little brown basket looking thing. And I do not remember that, but I also don't wear anything Fruit of the Loom. So I don't know. And all these people on Reddit were like, no, I vividly remember this because I had to draw one for Thanksgiving, and I remember looking at the Fruit of the Loom logo and drawing it from that. That's kind of a weird memory, though.
It is weird.
Right?
Unless maybe... No, I guess I...
No, and they've never had a logo change, nothing. And there's like hundreds of thousands of people who are like, no, there was a cornucopia.
I guess it would look more complete with the cornucopia.
It kind of would. But another person said too, like, I remember because they had a cornucopia in the Hunger Games. And I was like, oh yeah, that's a cornucopia. Because I remember from the Fruit of the Loom logo. And that's a weird thing for me though, is like, how are people remembering these little things, when they see something else from a logo and it's not there? Yeah,
and I guess that's where I'm with you. I'm like, I don't
How
have
can you
anything
explain
for
that?
the Loom.
No.
I don't remember.
I'm not a man. I think they make men's clothes, don't they? Like tidy whities.
I think so.
I think they do. And shirts, I think.
And like socks and stuff.
I
thought they were like...
What's a loom? What does Fruit of the Loom mean?
Fruit
of the loom. Hold on. What does the loom mean? What does the loom mean from Fruit of the Loom? Because is that a basket? Oh, it can be traced back to the Bible? What? An expression referring to clothes paralleling the phrase fruit of the womb. meaning children, which can be traced back to the Bible. That's a weird name. It's a piece of equipment for weaving clothing. So I should have known that.
Yeah,
it's the big thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. We're stupid. You can edit that part out.
I just had a moment of
I just
confusion.
didn't know, because what if it did mean that and there was nothing in the logo? Let me tell you what it really is. There's a loom in the background of the fruit.
I think it would look better with a cornucopia.
It would. I think it would be more complete. How do you spell Fruit Loops?
Like the cereal?
Mm-hmm. What are the Fruit Loops?
Well, I didn't know. I don't think I've ever... Okay.
Do you eat Fruit Loops?
No.
Me neither.
But
can you see it in your head?
Okay, I'm just gonna guess because I don't know. I would assume it'd be like just how you spell fruit. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then just loops. I don't.
Wrong.
It's something different?
It's fruit, F-R-O-O-T. And I don't eat Fruit Loops, but I remember it being straight up fruit, not fruit. It's fruit. Yeah.
And then like the off brands like colorful circles.
And this is a big one because a bunch of people claim that this is a Mandela effect that switched back. Because at first, people are saying, like 5 years ago, that it switched to fruit, like spelling out fruit. And people were like, that's wrong! It's fruit with 2 O's! And then it switched back. Who's doing all this? It's what I'm wondering.
It was like tricks when they had the shapes and then they went to circles, now they're back to shapes.
Yeah! It's just weird to me, and these are the things that make me think like, okay, I get it. It could be all these crazy things. Why are the dumbest things changing? You know? Like, why isn't it like all of a sudden Barack Obama was named Barack Obama?
Right.
Like, what if it was something like that?
That'd be more
like a politician. Something more important
than Fruit Loops.
Why are we the United States of America? What if that changed?
Why are we so pissed off that there's no cornucopia?
Yes, that's the thing I'm wondering. So that's what makes me think it is just a trick of your mind. Because if someone was fucking with shit or something was happening, wouldn't it be bigger things?
That's what unless they don't want to give themselves away, so they go
I guess, or like, I don't know. And someone said on this Reddit forum, the bigger changes we just don't notice. I'm like, that doesn't make sense.
Maybe I'm just not open to this, or like, I don't know. I'm not smart enough.
No. Listen, I tried to read articles and it went right over my head. Oh, okay. Right over my head. So, okay, I'll try to wrap it up. I have one more. Britney Spears. Do you know what I'm going to talk about?
No.
Okay. Did you ever watch Britney Spears, like, music videos when you were younger?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Okay, so everyone claims that Britney Spears had a headset in one of her music videos. It's the iconic red outfit, the latex.
Yeah.
Let me look up which song it was.
Okay.
Just so I can... Britney Spears. Britney Spears. Sorry. I just like saying her name like that. Oops. It was the Oops song. In the music video, she's literally grabbing by her face like she's adjusting her headset, but there's no headset there. Isn't that crazy? And there's dolls with the outfit on, and they came with a headset, a black headset. Yeah. And people have worn Halloween costumes all through the years of her. It was iconic. Like, I can remember her having the headset. And people are saying they're misremembering because sometimes she wore headsets during her live performances. But other people were saying she only wore that outfit for the video. Like, it was iconic for the video. Isn't that weird?
But then she's adjusting.
She's literally, go and watch the video. You can see her moving. Like, it's like she's trying to move something next to her face. Why would she do that?
If there was no headset.
That's obviously not part of the choreography. You know? She's like...
I'm going to add that when I have to choreograph something.
Yeah,
like,
the fake headphone. People will know what it means. I'm telling you, though, that one's weird to me because you can see it in the video. But it is so easy. But I'm pretty much going to wrap it up. But that is so easy, like a good example of how your memory can be manipulated. Because when I was looking on this thread, there was an article about the song We're the Champions.
Yeah.
From Queen. And you know how at the end he's like, oh, the world! You know?
Yeah.
People had an article up where they don't say that in any of the videos. He says of the world. And these people made a fake like website about it because and people were like, oh my god, where to go? Like people were freaking out. But then Lucas and I looked on Spotify and I think it was also really iconic from what was that AIDS thing? That sounded really inappropriate. They did the AIDS fundraising concert. It was like one of the most famous concerts they did. They sing it in that. But that just goes to show how much the internet can manipulate us.
Yeah.
Because people were on there being like, yeah, where'd it go, blah, blah, blah.
Mm-hmm.
And it scared me for a second because I was like, no fucking shit. He says of the world.
Right.
He says it. I know he does because I've sang that song about 1 million times.
So they used to play it all the time at, like, school, too.
Yeah, so that, that's just, I think a lot of it's bogus.
Well, I think I agree with you on, like, the Mandela effect. I think sometimes maybe if the internet wasn't so out.
I think some people also
time.
like the attention of it to create something like that.
Yes.
And to get people to believe it.
But that's where it's like, I'm like, if we didn't have the internet, some of our problems wouldn't even exist.
No, it would not be a thing. So, I don't know if you guys think we live in a simulation, or if you're waking up from the simulation and you notice Britney Spears doesn't have her headset anymore. Or you think it's just our memories playing tricks on us. I don't know, but I just thought it was kind of interesting.
I want to know what the big things that we don't notice.
I know.
That have changed.
I'll look on Reddit. I will do more research on it and we can do another episode.
Of, like,
and see if there's
big ones.
Yeah, and I tried to look like political Mandela effects, and the biggest one was Nelson Mandela's death. The last thing I'm going to say, does anyone remember Meatloaf dying forever ago? I swear, I remember that.
I thought he was alive, but my brother and my dad, I told them, and they were like, he died a long time ago.
Thank you.
And then you said, I'm like,
yes.
Yeah, it's 3 people.
I think he died forever ago. I'm going to put our email in the show notes, and if you guys think Meatloaf died, or if you have any other Mandela effects, email them to us, because I don't know, some of them do trip me out. Because I remember having a conversation with my dad about it, and he was telling me about some of his music, because I swear he died.
And honestly, that's the saddest Mandela.
That's sad.
We kill people off.
I know.
Sooner than they should.
I don't know. I think it's crazy. But that's all I got for you guys. Sorry, I feel like that wasn't that informative, but it just kind of, like, tripped me out. And it's fun to, like, look them up and kind of quiz yourself on them. Like, what do you remember?
Yeah, those were interesting. I like them.
Cool. That's it.
That's all
I got for you guys. Sorry if that was kind of boring. If it was, get on another podcast.
Seriously.
I'm just kidding. Leave us a review so I know. I'll cry and read them and eat some ice cream. It's fun. It's okay. All right. Thank you guys for listening.
Thank you.
Okay.
Bye.